Hi! Welcome to the Bitching Dead. We have so much to bitch about tonight. We're your hosts, Becca, Freed, and Tara. We're a webcast from the Minds of the Geeky area, and we're here to bitch about stuff and things because somebody has to do it. If you have not seen episodes 11 and 12 of The Walking Dead Season 11, please turn back now. Don't open Dead Inside. We are not responsible for any spoilers you may hear. We did warn you.
Please remember, this is recorded live, so we aren't exactly sure what's going to happen. Please forgive us for any technical difficulties or accidental or intentional swears. You can join the conversation with the hashtag #TheBitchingDead.
We'd like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this webcast are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent the Geeky area or the webcast itself as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, so news. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have so much news.
But first, let's get the ratings out
Okay.
out of the way, because while we usually do get very excited whenever the ratings fall down, this time another piece has us much more excited, which we'll get to in a bit. But as far as the ratings are concerned, episode number 9 and 10 ended up, of course, giving even new series lows, which, yay! So yeah, the previous episode ended up getting 1,060,000 live views. It's still one of the top rated cable shows like on TV, but it's still falling. So
Listen, that article that we shared earlier today about who is watching The Walking Dead, and it's like rural Tennesseans and South Texas people, and I was like,
did you share it on our webpage?
I did not.
You did?
I
Okay,
will.
I have not been on Facebook much today, but I mean,
fine. I'm gonna pull it up really fast because I'm very curious because it says so it's from comicbook.com. It says study shows who watches Walking Dead the most. And these are the states that tune into The Walking Dead most heavily. You have Oklahoma, Idaho, Tennessee, Massachusetts, New Mexico, Kentucky, Arizona, Nebraska, Indiana, North Dakota. So pretty much the states where nobody has anything to do. I'm just kidding. Don't come at me.
You're not totally wrong about a lot of those.
Yeah, well, and then and then weirdly, these are the cities that, not weirdly, I guess, but these are the cities that The Walking Dead is most popular in: Oklahoma City, Oklahoma; Knoxville, Tennessee; Corpus Christi, Texas; Green Bay, Wisconsin; Evansville, Illinois; Tampa, Florida; Fort Myers, Florida; Burlington, Vermont; Lincoln, Nebraska; and Panama City, Florida. And then it said 2016, a study of New York Times study of the 50 television series with the most Facebook likes reported that The Walking Dead is most popular in rural areas, particularly southern Texas and eastern Kentucky.
Why?
Because a lot of those places are like gun-toting bigot areas. Fort Myers is just full of old people. I'm pretty sure the median age there is like 75. So that might be a bit hyperbolic, but not
I'm gonna say something really fast, and this may or may not be true. So I know that in my area, a lot of people who watch The Walking Dead are like in their 40s and 50s, and for the most part, like my parents, I don't want to say my parents are preppers, but like they're like prepper light. Okay, so I think they like the idea of the apocalypse. And I love the idea of the apocalypse. I know I will die immediately, but I still like the idea of it. So I think that's the draw of it, the good old apocalypse happening in the South. Yeehaw. Even though it started in California, which is, what all the Southerners are gonna blame. Anyway.
Yeah, California's used to it and they don't give a shit. just to be very clear.
My dad every now and then he'll go, "Why doesn't California just fall into the ocean?" I'm just like,
okay. Oh yeah, my family makes a lot of comments about how people are fleeing California left and right, and I'm like, yeah, it's because it's really expensive to live here. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is there's still a fuck ton of people here, and like, again, people in California do not give a shit what people on the East Coast or literally anywhere else in this country think.
Yeah.
So basically, old people watch The Walking Dead, which kind of makes
Yeah.
sense because they tried to get the younger generation with The World Beyond, and that
And
didn't
it
work.
Well,
failed.
and also these are like a lot of these people are actually probably watching it on cable TV, and I do not know a single person my age who still pays for cable TV. I think my sisters have satellite because they don't have like good internet there, so they've had trouble off and on with streaming, so they still have actual television, or at least one of them does, but like that's just because of where they are. That has nothing to like, if they didn't have to pay for it, they wouldn't. So
Hmm.
could also be that they have kids. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have little kids and not have television, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so was that was just the ratings for 11. Did they plummet again for 12? It doesn't
No,
help
that
that their airing schedule is so fucking weird though. Like,
yeah, they're like releasing it in chunks as if this is like Steven Universe or something.
yeah, like
Yeah.
episode 11 was up on the app like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was right after
Hmm.
our webcast, if not before. I think it was a day or two after our webcast 2 weeks ago that it came up. So it was a week or more before it actually aired.
Yep. Yeah.
But then episode 12, if it was available, I couldn't see it until today. So, or it might have been available yesterday, but I didn't check
On the weekend,
yesterday.
yeah,
But it
it was
wasn't
available on
Saturday.
Sunday. Yeah, it was
Okay.
available on Sunday.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the fuck, like
Meanwhile, it's not even coming up on like whenever I search for it on my app. It's like, no, fuck you.
I think they removed it from the AMC cable TV app, and you
Mhm.
probably have to pay for their Pro app or whatever it is to get it at all.
AMC
That's
Plus.
literally
Yeah.
But only the new stuff is you can get every previous season of The Walking Dead on Netflix, so that also might be why it's not on there. I don't know.
Could be.
Anyway, so
But yeah,
other
Becca,
news.
the biggest news.
So the biggest news. All right. So I'm excited. I saw this with my own eyeballs and I'm furious. So we are getting a new Walking Dead spinoff, and the two main characters in this spinoff are going to be, drum roll, Maggie and Negan. And Fareed apparently did the research that I did not do because I saw this and went, what the fuck? So Fareed, since you did the research, I'll let you tell us about it because I just want to stick my head in a fryer.
Crunchy Walker. But yeah.
What'd you say?
Crunchy Walker.
Crunchy
Deep fried
Walker.
deep fried
Deep
Walker.
fried Walker. County Fair.
But yeah, Megan and the Maggie and the Negan spinoff is going to be called The Isle of the Dead, and it will have Maggie and Negan going to Manhattan for some reason. It will be a 6-episode long spinoff, and it will premiere sometime in 2023.
I'm saying this. I'm glad that it's only 6 episodes because, like I said to you guys, and like I said on my Facebook page, she better be tracking him to New York, and then she better kill him.
Mm-hmm.
She better track him around. That's literally the only thing I can think of. You know,
Some people on Twitter are saying that they're going to make them kiss.
Oh, for fucking God, they're burning on the Scott Gimple, I will come for you. Angela Kang, you've done all right by me so far, even though this is sucking, but I will come for you. I swear to God. No, Maggie absolutely is. She's gonna kill him. There's only 6 episodes. She's gonna kill him. Oh my God. What if they run into the Civic Republic? Like, what if they run into
where is the Civic Republic? Is that in New York? Not city, but is it in New York State?
No, it's in New York State. Yes, it's in New York. It's upstate New York. I think it's not in New York City.
Well, I mean, listen. So everybody in New York City considers literally anything outside of Manhattan upstate New York. But like being from that area of the country, to me, upstate New York is like Albany, which is like mid-state and north. So that's it. It literally could be across the bridge from Manhattan in, the major part of New York State, and some people would call it upstate New York. So I am actually interested to see or to hear or to know or whatever which part of upstate New York it's in for that reason. I don't think they said anything specific about that though.
Well, hold on, let me look. Civic Republic. I spell Republic. Where are they located?
I think it's probably just going to say New York because ain't none of them had any maps or anything. They're a bunch of idiots.
The location is in the Civic Republic. Okay, that's what I was looking for. The Civic Republic is in Jesus Christ. I don't want to. I want to.
Well, anyway, I mean, while you're looking it up,
Philadelphia.
Point being that
it was in Philadelphia. Never mind.
But yeah, so Carol and Daryl are getting a spin-off. Maggie and Negan are getting a spin-off. Who's going to take care of the kids? Aaron? Like
community babies, man. Maybe this is going to give him a time jump. Like, is Herschel going to go with Maggie? I don't understand.
I'm all for kids being raised by a community versus by a, set of two parents, especially if they're two straight white parents. But yeah, this is getting exhausting. What about, please, won't somebody think of the children?
Yeah, what about that, right? But yeah, who's going to take care of the children? Aaron, I guess. But yeah, and also they actually spoiled that Maggie is going to be okay in season number 11. Like, why would you do that?
That's the other thing. It's like, so this means that we don't have to worry about 4 major characters dying. Like, why couldn't they have waited, especially since we know this probably isn't happening until
2023,
2 years from now, right? Like, okay, so 2023, but probably late 2023. So what's the point of announcing it now? Why you really couldn't have waited? If they announce it in the fall after the show is actually over, like literally right after the final episode, then they would preserve the thought that Maggie and or Negan could still die, and also, still have a year to push it. And I don't think they need more than a year. Nobody's hype about this. AMC, fuck off.
Yeah, it made no sense to me that Maggie, because all the tension that was in the cliffhanger in the previous episode, where Daryl ended up going to Hilltop and asking Maggie that this shouldn't be this way, remember?
Yeah.
The 6-month jump. Like, all of the tension is now gone because we know that nothing's going to happen to Daryl, nothing is going to happen to Maggie. Like, they spoiled the entire thing. Yeah, we're getting a spin-off that no one wanted.
I mean, I don't want any spin-offs, but I mean, I'll be honest, like, I'm kind of surprised that they're willing to pay those salaries, Maggie and Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
I think when it comes to spin-offs, the contracts get renewed or something, like they change, right? It's not the same contract as the main series.
Well, no, but I mean, I think, they already lost Maggie once for a while, and I guess she might be a little more willing to work with them, but like, I mean,
unless her part of her contract was coming back for the rest of was coming back for season 11 and an Untitled spinoff project.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe she wanted that, which
with a pay raise, who knows? But yeah, good for her, I guess.
I mean, good for her if that's what happened, but also,
If Negan, like, I really hope that it's going to be her chasing him because I don't care otherwise.
I mean, I don't think it will be at this point. Like,
is it going to be now? I said Nagy and Megan. Is it going to be Nagy and Megan, good old pals, having a little jaunt through It's it's funny because doesn't Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen, don't they play Batman's parents?
Yeah, they did.
So this is my theory, right? So
wait, what did they play Batman's parents in?
They in
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
I never saw that because I
the
don't
Zack
care.
the Zack Snyder movie. Yeah,
I don't like Batfleck. So but that's my theory, is that they're gonna go up to New York City and it's gonna be Gotham, and then they're gonna give birth and Maggie's gonna have a baby and it's gonna be Bruce Wayne. I'm just kidding, obviously. I think it's funny and stupid.
But yeah, more spin-offs. This webcast is going to keep on going.
Listen,
into 2023.
I mean, I'm gonna have to talk about my contract with this podcast. I will sign on for one episode for the entire miniseries, is what it sounds like it's gonna be. I'm half joking. 40% joking, 20% joking. You won't know until I send you what my demands are.
What is it Moira demands? A diamond tennis bracelet. And Moira from Schitt's Creek, she demands
it's a diamond tennis bracelet.
I'll send you
her daughter can be, I think, her PR person, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, don't worry. You'll receive my demands henceforth, forthwith. Anyway,
episode 11. Yeah.
Yes, episode 11. Very good. All right. So it's called Rogue Element. I don't remember why it was called Rogue Element, because the subtitles on my TV do not work, or did not work for this particular episode anyway. Because I watched this legally.
It was supposed to be. My guess was that it was trying to reference both the stuff that Connie is researching and also Eugene's experience with not apostrophe Stephanie. So that was my guess, is that they were trying to reference both, but I suppose it could be one or the other. I did watch the after the show. Dean and I actually watched the after the show on this because both of us were like, what the fuck about the stuff with Eugene and Stephanie? But it literally told us nothing. They were all like, we wanted it to be like a film noir, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, here they are trying to be artsy again. P.S. It's just fartsy at this point. I'm tired of it.
Just fartsy, no artsy.
Yeah, seriously. So anyway, did you guys have favorite moments?
Walkers. Yeah, walkers would be fartsy, right?
Yeah, they probably would be. I don't think they can control anything.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't flatulence leave the body
right?
When you die? Oh my God. Okay. Now I'm imagining fartsy walkers. Okay, I didn't really have any favorite moments in this episode because I had a really hard time hearing what was going on. I didn't really understand what was going on. I wish I did.
This was a boring episode.
It was
boring. It was boring. It wasn't bad. It was just boring.
Was this the one where Carol, I put this in the document, but I put it in kind of last minute. Was this the one where, because I watched this like fucking 2.5 weeks ago. Was this the one where Carol called out that guy who is beating the farmers?
Yeah.
Okay, then fine. That's my favorite moment.
Carol being him out, because I didn't see her call him out.
Well, no, she told Lance what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand what was going on.
So she was watching, when Lance and that guy that was like the head of their cooperative or whatever it is were fishing, Carol was kind of over her shoulder watching the women, and they were giving her like signals, I think. Now, how she possibly understood what they meant by
because she's a survivor of domestic abuse herself, I guess. That's what they were going for.
I mean, I suppose, but like,
and then she went and talked to them, even though it was off screen. And that's how
she did go talk to them. Yeah, I missed that. Okay. Well, regardless, yeah. I mean, she got the gist that they were being, mistreated. It's like, this is like a weak favorite moment because I just wanted to pick one, and it's like Carol being Carol, I guess, and also, she was able to help these people, these, as far as I know, were they all women?
No, there were men in there
There were
too.
men.
Mhm.
Like 2.5 weeks ago. Okay. And the Eugene stuff had me so like, what the fuck is going on? That I actually, like I said, I couldn't even remember if this was definitely the episode where that happened. When Becca was talking about, I can't understand Connie and Kelly because there's no subtitles. Because also I agree, they were like and I almost wonder if they did that on purpose, you know, to force people to have subtitles, but like sometimes when there aren't subtitles, it doesn't work for everybody. I don't know.
I meant no. I meant like because in some, you know how in some shows, if a character is not speaking, you know, English,
ASL?
like
Yeah.
it's not speaking, if their character's not speaking English, a lot of the times they won't use subtitles at all, like, so we also don't know what's going on. So like if that was an artistic choice, that's great. Or if they legitimately did not have subtitles because of the platform I was watching on, did they have subtitles for when Connie and Kelly were talking?
They did from the previous episode.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well then because I didn't understand what they were saying. I just was watching them speaking in ASL, and there was nothing on the screen. I didn't understand what they were saying to each other, so I missed it.
But yeah, so yeah, I didn't remember so much from this episode because I watched it so long ago. But Carol being Carol is the only favorite moment I can really pinpoint. What about you, Free? Did you have a favorite moment at all?
I mean, if I have to choose the reveal, which made no sense to me, but I was like, okay, I guess that's kind of a good moment. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. That's why I was like, you know what? That's good. I wasn't expecting it. The Walking did something unexpected. So there's that.
You mean the person approaching Eugene?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. When I watched it, I was like, again, Dean and I were like, what the fuck is going on? Who is this person? Are they, because I actually thought that they were trying to mess with his head again.
I did too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only after watching yesterday's episode that I was like, oh, so they actually weren't just trying to mess with his head. Thank God, first of all. Because like, whatever you think about Eugene or if you don't care about him at all, that's still like the idea that they just straight up like honey potted this person who is, you know, obviously on the spectrum and has had a really tough time of it, and, you know, struggled with his own, you know, whether or not he could survive on his own, lied to people so that he could survive. And I just had this like awful, like, are they going to try to like karma because this is what you did sort of situation with him?
He already got his karma. He already got his karma. Already.
I mean, maybe, but who's to say with this show, you know? So I was worried that was they were trying to do him like extra dirty. And just that it was somebody messing with him all over again. So I'm glad that wasn't it. But at the end of the episode, I didn't see. So did you figure out like right away that it was a reveal then?
Yeah, I knew. Because I wasn't expecting them to mess with Eugene again. I really thought that this is going to be a reveal, right?
See, this is this is gonna be me being dumb, but like, so the screen was a little dark, right? And I was thinking that it was another pretty lady with brown hair and glasses. I was thinking it's like, I thought they were the same person. I thought that Stephanie, aka Shira, had come back down the stairs and was talking to him. And so that's why I was kind of like, is this all in his head? And so I expected whenever he turned around, I expected her to have disappeared, but it wasn't. It was Max. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was so confused at first. And but yeah, so I didn't like Max at first, but now I'm kind of like, I really want to like her, and I'm afraid to like her, you know. So
yeah, I mean, anyway, I have like another gripe about that situation, but any other favorite moments before you go on to least favorite? No, yes, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, least favorite, yeah.
So yeah, mine was just poor Eugene. That's why I figured we'd move on. Poor Eugene. That whole thing was really awkward and difficult and weird to watch. Like, and I'm not this huge Eugene fan. I do like him. They've done a good job, I think, for the most part. With, you know, there's definitely been some trips they've taken that I haven't liked with him, but for the most part, they've done a good job with his character and his character arc. So I was just like, please, just no, this is really. And like I said, like that, even at the end of the episode, all I could think was like they honeypotted him, and then on top of that, they're trying to like they know he's in this like dark, twisted mental state, and they're going to try to do it all over again.
Also, did you suspect Stephanie, or were you suspicious of Stephanie? Because I wasn't. I really thought that she got picked up by the government.
I accidentally got spoiled, so I went into it knowing that she fucked up.
I was torn about it because like the previews obviously made it sound like she got, you know, kidnapped or whatever, but then you see her like rushing to pack, and I was like, okay, so did she leave? But I still I didn't know that that the government definitely got her. I still had this like, okay, well, maybe she ran off because she knew somebody was after her. I never really thought that she really just up and left because like things with her and Eugene were moving too fast or whatever. But then in that respect, it's like, dude, you stuck around for so long and then you waited for this poor guy to tell you he loved you just to be like, peace out, bye forever, motherfucker. Rude. I don't care who you are, Stephanie. What Sheila, whatever the fuck her name is.
And also Eugene's smart. Of course he was going to try and find her.
I mean, not only is he smart, but she's all he had, right? Like he's got his friends, but like she's the reason they're all there. He's there's like beyond an attachment there. That has, you know, gotten bigger because of the time they spent together. Like it came before that, and yeah, like of course he was gonna try. Also, like his like Charlie Day board, like now I need a Eugene version of that meme.
I figured it out. You haven't figured out shit.
Oh my god, I have to admit, when he was like, and then there's this other co-conspirator, I call him Beanie Hat Guy. And I was like, this isn't supposed to be funny, but it is. Whoops, Walking Dead. So any other least favorite moments outside of the Eugene stuff? We all just in agreement on that, other than Becca just being meh.
I really had a hard, whenever I can't understand what's going on and I can't hear what's going on, I kind of check out. And so I was very frustrated.
It was just boring. It was just so boring.
Yeah.
Well, and the stuff with Connie, it makes. I'll get into. I guess we might as well just move on into other guys from other bugs, because the stuff with Connie, to me, it makes like little to no sense, right? Like I get what she's trying to do, and I get that she's like on the warpath for like equality and wanting to figure out what's really going on, because this is what she did in her previous life, and she apparently got some guy kicked out of Congress and everything. But you're like, she's moving way too fast. You know what I mean? Like there's so little intelligence in what she's doing. Like she has, if she has done this before to the point where she was able to get somebody kicked out of Congress, you know that she is smarter than this, right? So why is she like busting in here, immediately getting a job as a reporter, and first things first, like going out of her way to like she is not being smart about this. She's better than this. Like she has to be.
So like what exactly is she, because I couldn't understand what they were saying because of the, what is she looking to expose what happened to Tyler? Or is she trying to expose, because everybody knows there's a class discrepancy, and obviously there's a rebellion of some kind like lining up, and we don't really know other than what we've seen, we don't really know much about it. So like what was she telling Kelly whenever they were having their talks and stuff? Like what was she asking Mercer?
She wanted to get close to Tyler. She basically wanted to interview him because she's like Tyler when he had that girl, when he had Max as his hostage in the previous episode. He was talking about that, how there are thousands of them out there.
Oh,
So
okay.
Connie is like, who are these 1,000 people, and why aren't we telling the public about it?
And so she decided to go and ask Mercer.
Or well,
she went to the hospital room where Tyler was, but they wouldn't let her in. And then she saw Mercer inside the hospital room.
Right.
And that's why she's like, you know what? I'm going to go and talk to Mercer.
Right. And then whenever Mercer went to look for Tyler again, he
was gone. Yeah.
Got it.
And I think that it was Mercer who ended up sliding that note through the door.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yes.
What was the note again?
It had a
names
bunch
of people.
Oh, yeah. right. Yeah. Because he was real pissed that Tyler disappeared.
Yeah. I think it was Mercer who gave her the note.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good theory. Yeah, it's very clear what she wants to do, what she's trying to do, etc. But at the same time, it's like you're going about it the wrong way. And you, like I said, she's smarter than that, right? She is. She really is. She has to.
The writers just want to get her in trouble because of plot.
Right. That's one of my general like WTFs and complaints, gripes, whatever, is like she's gonna get herself in trouble and she's better. Like she is smarter than this. She is better than this. She has to be. And it's like, I guess maybe it's just the whole that they're trying to move the plot forward so fast because they only have so many episodes, but it's still maddening because like you're taking a good character and what could be a good storyline and just pushing it beyond the limits of belief right now. I don't know. So Connie's smarter than that. That's my other. That's just anyway. And then also just to get mine out of the way, Eugene burning his book pissed me off. Like, your heart got broken, and you're gonna burn your manuscript.
What?
I had two. No, I had like one full manuscript, one partial, and two partial manuscripts that were read and given thoughts on and edited by the person who like I had the worst relationship ever with, like the worst, extremely abusive relationship on his part. And I still like, I couldn't, what? All that hard work, you know? And you're just going to burn and of course, it's the only copy he has. And it's like, come on, man. You're also smarter than that, Eugene, I thought. And he's so rarely such an emotional person. I guess they were trying to make a point, but like, you could have made it better than that, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, am I the only one that has like other like these random gripes?
I really don't give a shit about this episode.
It's so boring. Such a boring episode.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to episode 12, the lucky ones. Favorite moments.
Ezekiel realizing that Carol helped him with his surgery. Like, I was like, yay, of course he would know. And Carol was like, well, I did what I had to do. But
She always says,
I did what I had to do, Ezekiel. And Ezekiel is like, what did you do? I like that scene. That he knows her.
He didn't really question it too much. He was like, you know what? I'm probably better not knowing what she did.
But that's it. That was my favorite moment.
Mine. I did kind of like that Stephanie doesn't, even though Stephanie doesn't, quote unquote, doesn't exist, but like it was just a made up name, but she is a real, she is a real person, Max, and Max does care about Eugene. Like that definitely made up for a lot of the whole, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, are they really screwing with Eugene even more? Like that made up for some things from the previous episode. So I did like that. And then also when Maggie was out hunting with Governor Lady, what's her name? Is she a governor? What is she again?
She's the the governor,
Ma-
mayor.
She's a
mayor of
mayor?
Commonwealth.
She's
Yeah,
just a
Pamela.
mayor? Okay, I don't know why I keep thinking she's a governor. Probably because I've been
Mhm.
rewatching Walking Dead, so I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
actually in the midst of the governor bullshit right now. But okay, so like when they're out hunting together and the walkers approach and Maggie like nice like
No, she's
literally
governor. She's the governor.
she
Sorry.
throws the knife
Oh.
and it like first of all, okay, so now they're all expert knife throwers, and then like the governor lady like just blows his head off, the other one's head off with a shotgun, and Maggie's like, I was like, I mean, honestly, Maggie, you did better work there. She had a whole ass shotgun, and
Right.
like, but it was still like, okay, well, and I did watch the after the show thing again, just because it was there and I was working and I was letting it play. But they were saying that they wanted the two of them to meet, not at Hilltop when Maggie is so obviously like overwhelmed and has, everything's kind of fallen apart all around her, and there's so little food, blah, blah, blah. They wanted them to meet on terms where Maggie looked like a badass. And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
well, that's good, I guess.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so I was able to actually watch this because I was able to see the subtitles. So I honestly thought for sure that Maggie was going to accept the Commonwealth's offer, but I knew that she wouldn't. But I thought they did a good job of her, like, of them having a good talk. I didn't expect this episode to pass the Bechdel test?
The Bechdel test,
The
yeah.
Bechdel. I did not expect it to pass the Bechdel test. And I thought that they did it because, like, you see her realizing that her friends are being sucked in to the Commonwealth and are not who they are. And because Daryl
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
yeah, who says I trust him? And yet whenever Mercer's like, fall in line, Daryl falls in line, and Maggie's like, something about this shit ain't right. So she's like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I think we're gonna pass, even though I'm literally falling apart in shambles all over the place. And yeah, also I thought that Eugene and Rosita's little talk was really cute, where she was like, you'll find your person. I thought that was really sweet. I thought Eugene and Rosita, their relationship's come a long way. And I don't know, she still trusts him and their friends, and I don't know, that was really cute to me. And her long sleek hair is like wild, like, because I'm so used to it being like all over the place, curly, but now it's like long and sleek, and I'm like, wow, the Commonwealth really takes care of their hair. Anyway, okay, that's it for my favorite moment.
I liked how some people from the hilltop actually left.
Yeah.
I like that. They were like, Maggie, you know what? You even though you refused to take the offer, we're still
And
leaving.
Diane
Yeah.
left, and she's like
Mm-hmm.
Maggie's right hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She
And
ain't picking no
also,
more.
but still, Lance is still going to work on them. So there's that.
Lance is such a Lance. Ah.
And why is Aaron so into everyone accepting the offer? I'm like, Aaron, what's happening?
Is it
Don't
for
you?
Gracie? It's all for Gracie.
Yeah.
Community, baby. Why? So, like, I guess we're kind of like segueing into least favorite moments. Why were they hiding all the broken things whenever they were coming through to Alexandria? Were they trying to impress the governor so they felt like they were a good investment? Okay, because I was wondering about that, because he was like, oh, quick, move the potted plant in front of the broken window. And okay, that makes sense, because that, I wouldn't say that's like a least favorite part, but then the walker comes rolling up and they were just like, bam, got it. And she was like, that's yucky. Like, she had a look on her face where it's just like, gross. This happens in your community? Like, duh, of course it does. If it doesn't happen in their community, like, where are they even Alexandria? Like, come on. Also, like, why did he fire up into the sky like a, I'm not gonna say what I said, because when I was typing, because I actually was in there watching the news, and actually a school shooting happened earlier today in Des Moines. But yeah, he just randomly took out his gun and was just like firing up into the air. Like, what was the point of that, other than the fact that he was feeling his power?
I guess they're trying to make him like a Two-Face character from Batman
Oh, okay.
with the coin. He also had the coin,
Oh,
right?
okay. Look, we already have one Two-Face. We don't need another one.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so you're really turning into Harvey Dent, huh? I guess that's what's happening with Lance. I don't like him, and I really hope that he dies in this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's even when he's like trying to be like, I don't know, he's trying to like have something in common. He's just creepy this entire episode. And then at the end, he's like the creepiest. Like
yeah.
And I'm like, Aaron saw him do that. And Aaron still wants to partner with him. I'm like, Aaron, no. No, he's not going to sleep with you. No.
Oh God, Aaron, please don't. I mean, he is kind of like I mean, I suppose he's built like his ex, whose name I can't remember.
Eric, yes.
Eric.
It had a sound.
Yeah. I'm like, Aaron, he's not going to sleep with you. No, don't. But Aaron is like, I'm a single father. I have needs. I don't know. I'm taking care of everyone, kids. Daryl went away with Carol. Maggie's going away with Negan. I'm in Alexandria taking care of kids. Like, because in the preview for the upcoming episode, it's going to focus on Lance, Gabriel, and Aaron.
I was wondering what happened to Gabriel. I forgot he was around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was I can't remember if it was episode 9 or 10. I think it was 9. No, it was 10. I don't know. He's the priest, right? He's the pastor,
yes,
whatever.
Yeah,
or one of them maybe. I don't know if there's more than one. Because Rosita, and apparently him and Rosita broke up. They don't act. They're not acting like they're together because Gabriel's like, I'll take him tonight. And maybe it's because, actually, now that I think about it, maybe it's because Rosita, because she's in training, she's having to live in like their barracks.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking.
They're still together. Yeah.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, maybe that's it. But then I also had maybe they broke up, or maybe they're faking that they were never together, because like it's clear that these people don't all, like Daryl and Carol, their whole conversation from, I think it was episode 10. I think it was one of the ones we covered last time, where Daryl and Carol are having the talk, and Carol's like, yeah, I mean, this place seems pretty good. Like maybe there's nothing we have to fix here. And Daryl's like, there's always something.
Yeah.
Like, it's never perfect. And I'm just like, you go, Daryl, you go. I don't think Carol really believes that either, honestly. But I mean, yeah. She's still Carol being Carol.
Yeah. Do you think Carol is going to get back with Ezekiel after the surgery?
Okay, so I need to talk about this because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. So they had a really weird relationship, and then they had a really weird breakup, and I really like them together. I do. I think they're good for each other. I think they complement each other. But I don't think that they're gonna get back together. I think that they work very good as very close friends.
Or maybe the surgery fails and he dies.
Stop it.
I was wondering about that too.
Right.
But that said, I was more of the mindset that the surgery itself actually probably wouldn't fail, but they would kill him off and blame it on the surgery.
I'm not going to talk to y'all ever again. I swear to God. He's one of my
favorite characters.
That
could happen.
That was seriously because like that was one of the last thing we saw was him being wheeled into surgery.
If that's how he goes, I'm gonna be.
If that's how he goes, I'm gonna be rip shit because like this man has been just badass leader from day one. And then when he's even kind of stepped back, I guess a little bit from being a leader, or when
really well,
he is, and he's great in the comics too, and like he's a very different character in the comics, but he's still great in the comics. And it's like, I don't want him to die like off screen in surgery or some bullshit. Just so
I mean, it could happen because what if Carol says no to Lance about something, and Lance, in his revenge, decides to kill Ezekiel?
I mean, that would have to happen like immediately though, because he's literally being wheeled into surgery right now. Like my thought was that it would be like this is the mistake type.
Yeah, yeah. I think that your theory could happen if Lance wants his revenge during the recovery process. Ezekiel dies.
I hope not, though.
Because Carol said no to Lance about something.
I hope not, because Ezekiel deserves way better than that, and literally just being fridged for Carol and or like all of their buds. I mean, when he gave the tiger collar to Jerry's kid, I was just like, I was just like, okay, like he knows he's gonna die because he's getting care, but he's not gonna get well, right? Because to be honest, at that point I wasn't really even sure that whatever was going on with him was something that could be fixed just by a surgery, right?
Yeah.
And of course they've got the brother there that's like a specialist, so that's great. But then you find out he's way down the list, and then Carol does her thing. But yeah, I just hope that they don't kill him like for some like stupidly like that. You know what I mean?
Now that you guys have said it, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna blame y'all, and y'all are gonna have to. I'm gonna kick you off my webcast, and y'all are gonna have to create your own webcast, and it's gonna be called like the.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I've already said that you'll be receiving my demands. We have to continue my season Trelb demands.
Trelb. Tree fitty.
Yeah.
My payment is my friendship and undying love.
Okay, so other gripes and what the fuck moments. I had a couple kind of one minor one, I guess. I at least Maggie didn't react terribly to some of her people like deciding to leave, but I did kind of hope that Maggie would try to get more out of the Commonwealth people, or like agree to something small to start with to see how it went, or something like that. Because otherwise it just looks like they came and helped out, but then also showed their force as what seemed like kind of a threat. Like they're helping them.
Kind of what I saw.
But it was definitely like, look what we can do. Look what I can do.
Yeah, like I think the big point for them was whenever they were out there fighting the walkers, whenever they were all like roped, whenever they were in the dingy dong rope alarm thing, and they all just shot them and just killed them all. And everybody was like, and Maggie was like, and then, they were there, it was her and Diane, I think, were talking like, wow, it'd be nice to never have to do this again.
Yeah.
And Maggie's very stubborn, but, she's seen what happens whenever you accept help from a bigger community, so she's super wary, which is understandable. Aaron is just good guy Aaron. He just wants the best for his people.
He just wants to that there's nothing, he just wants, he wants Lance's Lance. That's what's happening.
Oh my gosh, shut up. Lance is not even hot. Aaron can do so much better.
Agreed.
Desperate, what's the saying? Desperate times call for desperate
measures. Yeah, I see. Okay. But yeah,
I just have to hope that Aaron is playing a game.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, because he's very like almost flirtatiously nice. But yeah, but you know what? Maggie has had to do a lot of weird stuff to survive that we don't even know about. So, to be honest, her turning down Commonwealth can just be kind of one of those things that she's like, eh. And then, of course, Oceanside was like, yeah, if Maggie doesn't say anything, no deal. Sorry.
Yeah, that was good to see. Who was the new character, though?
What do you mean?
Who was that girl from Oceanside
Rachel?
talking? Her name's Rachel? Have you seen her before?
I think so. Hold on.
Because I was expecting the other girl from the Oceanside, the one that you've seen a lot of.
Didn't she die?
She's dead?
Rachel, she was around. Oh, wait, this is the reason probably why it's confusing, because Rachel has been played by two characters. She's the one who spat on Tara. Tara's feet. bit on Tara's feet when she was being removed. 6 years later, Rachel showed to matured into an intelligent young woman. She's originally like a young woman, like a young girl, and so she's. Wait. She was played as like a young girl, like 10 or 12, and now she's 20, like 21.
Oh, okay, because of time skip. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
okay,
probably
so
the
that
reason
was
why
her. That was her. Okay.
Yeah, so now we don't recognize
Mm-hmm.
the new one. And I'm not sure who the Anyway, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Regardless, yeah, it's like Oceanside. What? Oceanside is still a thing?
Yeah. Weren't we just talking about Oceanside
Right,
recently?
yeah.
Like wondering where they were?
Probably because they were kind of community non grata for a while there. Like,
And also Oceanside couldn't like give them fish or something to eat when Alexandria was starving.
yeah. Because if they have this like agreement, like they're by
Right?
the ocean, they can't just like not even just fish, snails, mussels, clams.
Seaweed. Yeah.
Exactly. Seaweed. Literally, there's no way that they have picked that entire shoreline clean. There's not enough people. There's not enough people in the world right now, apparently.
But yeah, it made no sense.
Lord. Like, surprise, oceans. It was a weird, like, oh, we're going to bring them back so that we can make this point of like, well, Maggie hasn't joined the thing yet.
Okay, so.
Oh, also that we needed that moment of her sitting in the ocean with her feet, or we needed that moment of Pam sitting with her feet in the ocean to show us that she's a real human. Okay. All right. So, do we have any theories?
Yeah, I do agree with your theory.
Mine. Okay, so I have a little more to add on to that. So Max and Eugene are going to take the Commonwealth down. I think that Max has something to do with the rebellion, possibly. I think that Mercer also knows about the rebellion, but he's been kind of like, I pretend I do not see it. I think that Mercer's going to help. He's going to die helping. I like Mercer. I did not like him originally, but I like him a lot now. I like that we're seeing more of a human side to him. But that's my theory, is that I think also though that Lance is going to play the tables like that Hilltop has done something to slight the Commonwealth, has done something bad, like attacked them or something, and that's the reason why Daryl's like, you gotta do it. This is the way it has to be, Maggie. You know, I think that he's going to play some kind of game that's going to turn everybody against each other.
Yeah.
But those are my theories.
Yeah, he's creepy. So I mean, I agree. I think that, I mean, actually, now that you're saying, you know, Max might have something to do with the rebellion or whatever, I mean, that would make sense for her to be the one that, what's his name, took as a quote unquote hostage for that short period of time. Yeah, because she knew he wasn't going to actually hurt her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she looks frightened, but anybody can act frightened. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This isn't even really a theory per se, but like, all I wanted to say was they really didn't need that scene from the end of episode 9 where Daryl shows up at Hillside, right, with the Hilltop with the common troopers, because that's what I'm calling them now, common troopers, to show us that like the shit is going to go downhill quick. Like, Maggie refused them, and like I said, it seemed like their show of force was a little bit of a threat, and Lance is also very obviously not entirely sane, and also just fighting, like trying to claw his way up a ladder. So it's like, did we really? I honestly think that scene might have it spoiled it spoiled the show. The show fucking spoiled itself with that scene. we didn't need that, because it would have been, if that hadn't existed, right, we would have seen this episode and been like, oh yeah, I bet you this is something's going to go down here. Why? Just why? It's bad. I don't even know it's bad writing. It's bad everything. Like this fucking show, man. And I'm coming from a place where I'm like, I'm watching. I started rewatching it, and I rewatched. I think I'm a little over half. I'm right, maybe right at halfway through season 3. I haven't had enough time. Like I watched like seasons 1 and 2 like real quick, and then I haven't had a lot of time to watch it the past like week or so. But so I'm back at the beginning, and I'm watching it, and it's like, listen, this show never had amazing writing or anything, but it's just looking back at that versus this, you know, it would have been like them showing Sophia in the barn in episode 1 or whatever, like 2, 3 of season 2, and then they're continuing to look for Sophia, but we all know she's in the fucking barn. I mean, to be honest, I assumed she was in the barn and dead the whole time, but I know that I'm in a minority there. So that's exactly what it would have been like. It would have been like us seeing Sophia in the barn episodes before it's revealed to the rest of the characters that she is. You used to be better, Walking Dead. You really did. Just end, for fuck's sake.
I think they're trying to keep our interest. I think that's the only reason why they did it, so we can be like, ooh, what'd they do? What happened? That's me stroking my beard.
Eugene showing up there at the end of that episode, showing up at Alexandria and be like, we're all friends, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was a good enough cliffhanger, because at that point, we wouldn't have known what they chose. There are so many ways they could have done this differently. And maybe there was some other issues. Maybe there were editing issues. Maybe there were, COVID filming issues last summer. Who knows? But it just seems like bad choice. You know what I mean? On their part, in my opinion. I'm never gonna like it unless and of course I don't really think that Daryl is gonna I don't really think that Daryl's gonna do the thing either.
I think he's gonna get pally with Mercer, and I think that Mercer's gonna. We still have to, though. We still have some. We have like the ending part, though, because we have like what, 8 episodes or something. So we still need to figure out like what the real big bad is going to be. Like, what is, because we also saw these new people that are coming up, which, by the way, that one person looks super hot. The one with the shaved head. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, in the preview. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So we see them, with the church, so who are they? Are they the next big bad? Are they going to be, the key to solving this crisis? Who knows? Are we going to deal with them first, and then are we going to deal with the Commonwealth? Anyway, so wrap up. Recommendations. I have no recommendations. I have not watched anything new.
I mean, I said it last time, but I'll say it again. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime choice. It's, I think, 6 episodes. For whatever reason, they're releasing 2 episodes a week on Fridays. So it's the second to last season. It's hilarious. I love it. Also, we randomly started. So Dean and I watched the American version of Utopia on. That's spelled wrong in the doc. Utopia, not with an E, on Amazon Prime. Back when it was released back in, I don't know, 2020. It was when I was still living in South Carolina. So we watched that, and it wasn't great, but it was interesting enough. And then it got canceled, and we were like, well, great. So we never get to find out what happened. So we started watching the British version of Utopia, which came out around 2013. It's so different from the American version. It's very British, very gory, and very weird, but it's very interesting. It's got some interesting twists. So if you're looking for a weird, gory British show with some interesting twists, Utopia on Amazon Prime, I wouldn't rate it super high. I'd give it a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. But maybe a 7 in certain, like at certain points, but yeah, so it's not amazing, but it's definitely, especially if you watch the American Utopia, I would say watch the British one if you haven't yet, because it's very, very different.
Which one should I watch first?
I would watch the British one first, honestly.
Okay.
It only got 2 seasons, and we actually haven't finished it yet. We have 1 episode left, so but the way it's gotten, I think it wraps up okay. I think it has to wrap up, like, okay in the 2 seasons that they had, whereas the American one, you get a season, and it's basically just maddening. So I would say watch the British one, because I think if you watched the American one first, you'd be like, I'm not, because I mean, it took us a year and a half and getting to the point where we had like nothing else. Like we completed watching everything else. We're like, we need something to watch. Well, maybe we'll try this. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Okay.
But there's a lot of like, it's almost like torture porny, honestly.
Ooh.
So
I love that. Okay. So I'll like it then.
I don't think there's any sexual assault. I at least not in the British one. I'd have to. I don't believe there is.
Okay.
So I'm I'm kind of not totally remembering the first season because we've kind of spread out our watching of it, but it's mostly just torture porn.
Okay.
But not in the sexual manner.
Okay.
People lose like eyes and I don't know. Yeah. It's very gory, but it's very bright. So like, it's like they'll slit somebody's throat and it's like blood everywhere and the person's just stumbling around and blood is spreading. It's almost kind of like a Tarantino in a way.
Okay. So it's like a comical or like a camp. Almost
Yeah,
camp.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and they definitely do something with the color saturation for sure, because it's very interesting, and I kind of wish they hadn't ever bothered making the American version. Because like I got interested in the American version even though it was super weird, but then I was like, oh, it got canceled and nope. But so that's why I'm saying watch the British one first, and then if you want to watch the American one just to compare, otherwise you'll just be like, this is maddening.
Okay.
Now I want a Walking Dead spin-off set in the UK where everyone is British.
Well, we did have a zombie UK show In the Flesh.
It was so good,
dude. That came out. That was
so good.
I was looking up one of the characters in Utopia because the actor looks so familiar, and he is in the Flesh, but it like a bit character, I think. But I was like, oh yeah, In the Flesh. That was such a good show.
So good. Before its time. It was before its time.
It also got canceled too early. But like, yeah, if you haven't watched In the Flesh, I mean, if you're in zombie media mode like I've been lately, In the Flesh is a choice show. Very, very different version of zombies and everything than we usually see, for sure.
I've seen part of In the Flesh, and then there's another, hold on, because there's another TV show that's similar. It's called The Cured, and it's basically the same premise.
The Cured? Isn't it a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah, sorry, it's basically a movie, but it's basically the same thing. It's got Elliot Page in it.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I got scared, so I stopped watching it about 2/3 of the way through. But I'll have to watch In the Flesh. That looks really good.
It actually really is, and there's some pretty good representation in it from what I remember, right? It's been a long ass time since I watched it. But yeah, I actually like I saw that this kid was in it, and like I said, it was a bit part. That's definitely not where I recognized him from, but I was like, oh, Dina's been really into zombie media. I need to find out how we can watch In the Flesh.
You should watch Z Nation.
Yeah, I tried. I probably need to try again. Dean really hates Z Nation, so
he hated it.
He hated it.
Why?
I don't know. He got I think he got maybe halfway through the first season, and this is before him and I even knew each other. But he bitches about it all the time. It's like one of those weird things where he's like, "Oh, Z Nation, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. They try to be funny. It's so dumb."
It's camp. It's supposed to be dumb funny. Oh my god, Dean. Okay, for Reed, what recs do you have?
In the Flesh. Yeah. Watching The Flesh.
Okay. And didn't you recommend you recommended Young Royals on our webcast?
Oh yeah, and on our anniversary webcast.
Yeah. Was that the other one?
No, there are a whole. I actually did a top 9 well-written queer shows recommendation list for our anniversary. So if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. I have listed 9 shows in no particular order that have good queer representation. We have The Young Royals on Netflix. We have Money Heist. We have The Long Call, a UK British show, which is basically the first ever UK British show with a queer gay lead as a detective. And there's also God's Own Country, which is a movie. But yeah, if I would recommend a couple of shows from that list, I would recommend Young Royals. Go watch it. Young Royals. You haven't watched it yet, Becca?
I haven't watched it yet. Bitch, no.
Like 4 days.
It's only been a few days. Do you think
Speaking of top 9s, I know that you guys, because I watched most of the 9th anniversary webcast, which I'm still mad I didn't.
I was just about to bring this up.
Yeah, but I was to say let's not forget Becca's top 9 dumbest moments of the Walking Dead article.
Okay, so
not a show, but
I'm gonna bring that up really fast because I'm really proud of this article. I haven't been able to really write in a long time, so my brain was like, meh. But so I did for our 9th anniversary for the Geeky Area. Several of us did for 9th anniversary, yeah. So we did nine like listicles and stuff like that. And of course, I did 9 of the dumbest moments on The Walking Dead. Now there are more dumb moments that I can think of now that I've been thinking about it, but these are the ones that came up first in my brain. And
I think it's less dumbest moments. Like there's some, and this isn't anything on you or the title of the article, but it's like to pull out dumb moments would be like they'd be so minuscule. So it's more like top 9 dumbest things, ridiculous stupidness that this show has produced. I didn't necessarily agree with all of them, but it was a really fucking good article.
So. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
we all have our own opinions on this webcast. Isn't that part of the
These are honestly I'm gonna say it, okay? I was really struggling with brain fog. These are not the top 9 dumbest. These are, I asked y'all because I was really struggling and I asked for help and you provided. These are not necessarily my top 9 dumbest. These are the top 9 dumbest things that I could think of at the time. So that's a disclaimer. But top 9 dumb, like for example, Rick on the phone at the prison. That was really fucking stupid. Lori appearing in a white dress. That was really fucking stupid. So I have number 1, Glenn's dumpster death. That got rid of a lot of people who were watching The Walking Dead. They just rage quit after that. Especially some of mine and Tara's friends. And then Daryl and Leah's relationship was really stupid. Morgan trying to change Carol. That was just kind of a, I don't know. I wouldn't say
we hate on Morgan so much on this podcast.
Morgan is just dumb.
He ruins everything. So, he ruined Fear the Walking Dead.
He really did. Yeah.
Carl's death was number 4 because that was, I mean, I understand it was a contract dispute, and so it really wasn't. It was the writing, but it was just bad. Carl's death was one of them. Michonne leaving her children, her babies, to go and look for Rick. That was really stupid. I understand. Again, it was another contract dispute. But they are just getting really bad at writing people off. Yet again, Jesus's death, another contract dispute. The actor who played Jesus, Tom Payne, was really tired of being on this show, so he asked to die. Andrea's whole character was a dumb moment. And that was for Tara. And then Rick saving, and Tara did help me with that one. Rick saving Negan instead of killing him was one that pretty much called the rest of my friends were watching The Walking Dead, that because they wanted Rick to pay for his crimes, or not, sorry, Rick. They wanted Negan to pay for his crimes, and they did. He didn't. So that was.
And now he's getting a spinoff.
I was getting a spinoff, exactly. And then this one is something I've just kind of bitched and complained about since pretty much I've started watching The Walking Dead. It's 9. It's the zombies using rocks and rattling doorknobs. So in season 1, the zombies were able to pick up rocks and smash windows with them, and
they also climb fences. They climb chain link fences. Like there's so many things that they do.
Okay, so they also climbed fences and stuff. So this is more of a continuity complaint than it is a dumb moment. But I was told from a member of somebody who is currently an actor on The Walking Dead. That's not a wink wink. That's because he knows who he is. I know he doesn't watch this, but that's fine. His name rhymes with Moss Rarquand. He told me that
Lord Farquaad?
Lord Farquaad.
Is Lord Farquaad on The Walking Dead?
His name rhymes with Lord Farquaad. Moss Rarquand.
Yeah, Lord Farquaad is the governor, the new governor of the Commonwealth's son.
Yeah,
Lord Farquaad. Anyway,
Lord Farquaad. And Donkey and Shrek are the new leaders of Alexandria and the Hilltop.
I mean, if Donkey was on The Walking Dead, he would have died 6 times.
Donkey would have died. Donkey would have been the horse that Rick rode in on the first episode or second episode. So anyway, so he told me that like it was kind of like an homage to the zombies in George Romero's Living Dead series, and how kind of like they had still kind of that muscle memory and but the zombies in Romero's classics were supposed to be a societal commentary and a social commentary on the certain things that were happening at the time, like in the 60s and the 70s. The Walking Dead zombies are not that. They're an excuse for makeup and latex. Let's be honest.
And I think, let's be real, that I honestly don't remember the beginning of the comics and whether I don't know that they were ever like that in the comics. That they could climb chain link fences and used rocks to bash in windows. And I think what the issue there was, and I agree it's a continuity issue, but I think what the issue there was, and I still agree with it being a dumb thing, but they weren't sure that this show was going to go beyond season 1. Like it was a mini series and they were hoping it would get picked up, and it did, but it didn't right away either. Like the second season, there was like a year and a half or something between the two. There was a time period where they, even after it aired, they weren't sure. But I think the issue was they realized that if they kept up with the zombies that way, people would just be dying like constantly, right? Like they weren't fast like Black Summer zombies, but they were faster. They were the using the rocks, the having that muscle memory, not even muscle memory, but like I mean that was Morgan's wife. She like remembered what house they had stayed in.
Yeah.
This. And also when Rick is in, because I just rewatched this, when Rick rides into Atlanta, they're like pulling on the horse's reins and stuff. And, it's, I think they realized that, oh God, if this show got picked up, we can't continue on this track or these people will never survive. And I mean, and also like,
that's what I said, that they were going to level the playing field.
Yeah. And so it was absolutely stupid, because I also think that they could have done something where like walkers have muscle memory for a very short period of time. But they just got rid of it completely. And I think that was where they failed. Like it was just like, okay, well, we're just going to change it and nobody's going to notice. And then it's like, but this is also before streaming services were a big thing, and people were, I had a lot of friends who didn't start watching Walking Dead until after like season 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 had aired, and I think it's mostly like after season 2. But then it's like, okay, so when you're watching it back to back, it looks a lot more ridiculous, right? And they were really hoping that people would forget in that time frame between season 1 and season 2. And now I'm looking up the air dates because it's driving me crazy that I can't remember. So, okay, season 1 was October 31st to December 5th of 2010. Season 2 did not air until, oh my gosh, the first episode. Okay, so it was a year. It was an entire year later. So it wasn't. I guess it wasn't that long. For some reason, I thought it was way longer than that. But it was only about a year. But yeah.
I would actually prefer that that new zombies are more dangerous because they have muscle memories.
Yeah.
Like that would have been interesting.
Like in Zombieland when they had the Terminator zombies.
Well, and see, I did the opposite with my book, and this wasn't even, it was a little bit inspired by Walking Dead, but literally nothing else. Where when I wrote about zombies, I wrote that when they first reawaken or whatever, they kind of come back to life, and they're just stumbling. They have to kind of figure out how to move again. And then it takes them time, and they're not even regaining muscle memory. They're just kind of, learning maybe isn't the right word, but they do eventually become like super zombies, because they're not, there's more synapses firing or whatever. And, so there's so many different ways to put it, but to just get rid of that idea altogether was just kind of like, okay, Walking Dead. See, here is my thing. Like, I don't really think Rick should have killed Negan. He didn't in the comics. So I get why show watchers, like people who'd never read the comics, would have been like, what the fuck? My thing was, I would have put the Beth stuff, and it's not even just necessarily Beth, but she's the biggest example in the top 9, because I love that you called it, oh, right, I have a sister, but it wasn't just Maggie. It was kind of everybody. And here's the thing, they didn't actually, like, Maggie was so obsessed with searching for Glenn after they all got expelled from the prison in first half of season 5, or end of season 4, whatever it was. It was like Maggie was so obsessed with finding Glenn, she never once talked about Beth until after she found Glenn. And then I was like, oh yeah, I guess I have a sister. I should go find her. That whole thing. And I'm not as big of a Beth fan as you are, Becca, but I liked Beth, right? Like, I thought she really came into her own as a character. I thought she started out as a weak character, and I don't mean weak as a person. I mean that they didn't really know what to do with her, and then they kind of, like, she evolved. They wrote her really well as time went on, and then it was like, oh no, now everybody has forgotten about her except for the person who's with her, and then she just dies. Like, I don't know, it was her death. She was very much fridged, is what I kind of thought. But then nobody actually seemed to have any sort of like reaction to her death.
Wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like, but that. So we actually do see Daryl go through a period of grieving multiple times, and Carol also, to a degree.
I guess maybe
Tyrese
it's like
as well. But Daryl especially, probably because he was so close with Beth. And Maggie kind of mentions her offhand to Lydia one time.
Like years and years
later. Yeah. But she, so it might just be kind of like Maggie felt like, oh, no time to cry, but like with Daryl, like, he really carried her death very strongly, especially because he felt like it was his responsibility to protect her. But no, like, they definitely have mentioned Beth before, and he definitely has, like, and I, and maybe this is just because I'm in those Delulu Beth groups, I don't know, but no, he definitely, he punishes himself. Like, he goes off and, trigger warning, he goes off and burns himself with a cigarette to punish himself for her death. And but most of the characters don't care about Beth. You're right.
Including her sister and even Glenn to an extent. Like, I think Glenn mentions her before Maggie ever does. I'm pretty sure before Glenn dies, he brings her up once. And it's like, I'm glad Glenn remembers her because nobody else does. Like, it was just anyway. Yeah, I like I said, like I might have reordered these things slightly, but I don't disagree necessarily.
Reordered as in like, you mean like moved Beth to something else, or
moved? I would have moved Beth into the main 9 and moved Rick and Negan down into honorable mentions, just because he doesn't kill him in the comics. And while I've never liked that whole storyline, it also, like, I've never liked that whole storyline. But
to be fair, these also are not like, this is a conglomeration. I'm not saving my skin. I'm gonna be honest with you here. This was super easy for me to write, considering all the stuff I've been through. And so I was like, you know what? This comes to mind. I'm gonna, if I had to really sit down and think about it, it would take me forever. But like, the dumbest shit, like fucking, I don't know. Anyway, yes. But Alpha Negan sex also honorable mentions, and then the lawnmower zombies, which we've always joked about lawnmower zombies.
Well, and also lawnmower zombies also, I think, covers like beautician zombies.
Yeah.
We're waxing everybody's eyebrows and shit. Like, I mean, because they do wear minimal makeup. Their makeup doesn't look unrealistic. They're not you know what I mean? Like, they do all look dirty and whatever, but like, the hair sometimes and the eyebrows especially is just like, who in fuck's hell is stopping to pluck their eyebrows during the zombie?
Look, I
can't remember to do it in real life,
Yeah, I haven't gotten my eyebrows done since November. All right, so we have activities and conventions. Me and Tara both have the same thing going on.
All Ice and FireCon all the time right now. We're a month and like 2 weeks away. Actually, I think it's literally a month and 2 weeks away exactly in terms of dates, because it starts April 21st. So yeah, all Ice and Fire all the time. First time we've been in person since 2019. It has been 3 years. I'm freaking the fuck out as organizer because, wow, I forgot how much there is to do, but Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad we're gonna finally be back in person. So there's that.
All right, Freed, what about all the conventions you have planned?
Oh, so many conventions.
All right, so we'll be back in 2 weeks on the 21st, unless something happens. So this has been Becca Freed and Tara bitching about stuff and things with the Bitching Dead. Thank you again for joining us. Please follow the Bitching Dead and the Geeky on Twitter. You can also find the Bitching Dead on Facebook. Remember, we are a free webcast run off of donations from viewers like you. Thank you for contributing and helping our host site, the Geeky. Also, happy 9 years to the Geeky. Yay! Bye, everybody.